Victor Wembanyama is the singular greatest prospect in NBA draft history.
And I think this is the greatest prospect that the NBA has ever seen.
If he's Kevin Durant, if he's Hakeem Olajuwon, he has not met expectations.
That's why the expectations are too high.
His expectations are to have a career like LeBron, Jordan, Duncan, Shaq, or Kareem.
He is 100% the greatest prospect in the history of the game of basketball.
The league's really in trouble when he comes in.
Everybody, we're gonna label him like this unicorn thing. Everybody's been a unicorn over the last few years, but he's more like an alien.
He's incredible, man. Like he has the chance to be one of the best, not in his age or not in Europe, one of the best to ever play this game. Like we have never seen something like that before. We got to get ready for this kid. He's gonna be really good.
Soul food. Parked up outside in the old school. The new me back with the OU. The dog always find his way back home, and it's so true. Later on, fall through and pop one.
Victor Wembanyama, the greatest prospect since LeBron James. A 7 for demigod who can handle the rock like Kyrie, shoot the ball like Steph, finish emphatically like Shaq, and send shots to the nosebleeds like Hakeem. But what if you were in 2K today? I will be answering that question and showcasing my Victor Wembanyama build in NBA 2K23, and showing you how to make Victor Wembanyama yourself. Let's start off with the body settings. You want to make the build 7'1", because unfortunately, you cannot make 7 for builds in 2K23. Weight will be 225 pounds and wingspan. You want to go with 7'6". Body shape does not matter. Let's move on to the finishing. You want to start off with a 78 close shot for the silver fearless finisher and extra badge point. An 85 driving dunk for silver posterizer. An 81 standing dunk for pro big man contacts, and the most important attribute. A 90 for post control for gold quick first step and gold unpluckable. In some of these clips you can see just how elite the finishing is. A 7'1" build with contact dunks and a high close shot is unstoppable in the paint. And the gold quick first step makes other centers matched up against you unable to catch up and get a lucky chase down. These finishing clips are with only rebirth badges. And you can see, Wemby cannot be stopped. You can blow past slower builds and finish with the high driving dunk. Catch the ball down low and go up with the pro big man contacts. And even post hook with the 78 close shot rating. Overall, the finishing on the build is amazing. And combining that with the 7'1" stature, attacking the paint is like stealing candy from a baby. For the shooting, I went with a 77 mid-range for the extra shooting badge and gold midi magician. This allows you to hit those tough fadeaways that Wemby takes IRL, which you can even see in some of these clips, and it unlocks a whole new element of your game. Next is the 85 three-pointer. Although it may seem high at first, the silver limitless range unlocks a whole new realm of possibilities with this build. Consistently hitting from the hash mark, and even allows me to confidently fade and step back with the build. You can even see the famous Wemby one-legged 3 in one of the clips. When it comes to shooting, it is perhaps Wemby's most enticing aspect, and this build does it justice. Contested fadeaway middies, step-back three-pointers, one-legged three-pointers, catching and shooting from the Rec logo, post fadeaway over 3 defenders. This build is an elite shooter and you should have no trouble hitting your shots with this build, and if you do, I'll link my jump shot video in the description. Next up is the playmaking. We have a 75 pass accuracy, which although is not a lot, is enough to get the job done, and throw quick accurate passes on the fast break and in the half-court setting. Although it isn't anything fantastic, a 75 pass accuracy is more than enough to get the job done. Now we move on to the fun part. The Wemby build has a 63 ball handle, just so we don't get those weird stagger animations, and a 61 speed with ball. Gold quick first step is essentially useless if we don't have these stats upgraded. And this honestly makes this build a very viable ball handler, especially against other big men. Although it isn't enough to be a primary ball handler, it is enough to create your own shot and be effective. The ball handling aspect is absolutely necessary for a Victor Wembanyama build, as that's the most polarizing aspect of him when it comes to being an NBA prospect. For the defense, we went with a 73 interior, which unlocks bronze brick wall, and is good enough to play effective paint defense. The 40 for perimeter defense is simply for the faster lateral movement on defense, so if you're switched onto a guard you won't just get beat, and in case you do get beat, you have the 93 block, which unlocks Gold Anchor and Hall of Fame chase down artist, and man, when I tell you that Gold Anchor is elite, I am not joking. It is almost impossible to score in the paint on this build. And when beat to the paint you're able to chase down block the shot like LeBron. On Iggy, you can see in the clips, some of these blocks are just straight up mean, from snatch blocks to pin downs, just amazing. Next is perhaps the most questionable part of the build. The rebounding. The build has 85 offensive rebound for the silver rebound chaser, and its cheapness compared to, which is pretty low. That the silver rebound chaser certainly helps, the rebounding does seem pretty low, but I promise it gets the job done. And if you understand positioning you shouldn't be getting out rebounded. It also matches Victor's weakness IRL, which is his rebounding. You can also see, even with the 25 steal, I get quite a few bump steals just with timing and positioning, making this an elite defensive build in all aspects. For the physicals we went with a 70 speed, which for a 7'1" center is honestly really good. It lets you back to the paint off switches and recover to the paint when rotating. The accompanying 62 acceleration is mainly for ball handling, and combined with the quick first step, it really makes a big impact. Sticking with realism, we did not touch the strength on this build, which when looking at Wemby you can understand why. This build however does have a 75 vertical, which helps with the rebounding and is reminiscent of Wemby's athletic prowess. Although the stamina may not be seen, it is a 90. At the end, the build is called an inside-out score, which is certainly appropriate for Victor Wembanyama. Overall, the build is elite, and it does a good job replicating Wembanyama's alien-like skills at his particular size. The Wemby is such a tantalizing prospect. You really can't make a copy of him in 2K. I'm excited to see what the future holds for him in the NBA. And if you'd like to see this build maxed out, and some live rec gameplay, leave a comment. And like the video. Also, comment down what your expectations are for Wemby.
Wembanyama!